So, where we at? I thought my sphere idea earlier was good, but I don't know if it actually makes any sense in practice. So how would it work? I'm thinking like, oh, it's so obvious, just get like this and that in between or whatever, but it's not obvious. Should I be like... I don't know. So should it be a half circle? Like how should it be? Should it be like this? This doesn't feel like it quite makes sense. this a good idea? I'm kind of upset about this because, in my opinion, this should pretty much work. I don't really see why it doesn't. Southwest. Goes from southwest to northwest. And it goes from northwest to northeast. Or does it? Maybe that's the problem all along. I'm not sure though. It takes forever to launch. That's why I put it on 1.1, just so I can test faster. See, now this makes a lot more sense, but it still doesn't make perfect sense. Because you see, it still has this here, for example. Well, this should be, southwest should be 0. But for some reason, it's like all the way up there. And I don't really get it. But it looks a lot more solid now. However, this is actually like supposed to be kind of part of the same thing. The pink is supposed to be, that's the second half of it. But I don't feel like there should be that much pink still. But this matches a lot better. A lot better. As you can see. Maybe I was just doing it wrong the whole time. So what's wrong with the blue then? If we just move on from that, we have to get the blue to render like this. Like the blue here should... It should attach to that, exactly. So what did I even change? This is the negative. So that means the positive should be southwest to northwest still. But then southwest to southeast. Doesn't it have an else? And then this should be northwest, north, northeast, northwest. And it should work the same. My hair just keeps getting worse. No, it's still doing that. That's correct, that's wrong. So why? It's supposed to be exactly the same, except just the other side. Does it have something to do with the abs? That doesn't feel like it would make any sense, but maybe there is some issue going on there. But no, it still doesn't behave properly. So strange. Also, it doesn't... What? Doesn't make any difference which side it's on? It always does this there? So it's not the abs. It's not fucking anything, dude. And here I thought I understood for a second. What could possibly be the problem? So right now it's the purple one that's broken. If I change this around, now it's the yellow one that's broken. So it doesn't matter? So either something is just staggeringly wrong, or it's one of the northeasts or southeasts that is just not right. But that's just not the case. Is it? Northwest, southwest. It's the souths that work. So we start at southwest, northwest. That's south. West, that's north, west. So both of these sides are right. Now, But it... No. Are we still doing some shit somewhere that affects something? Let's do this again. This time, let's do it over there and over here. So as we can see, we get different values here on the left and the right on the percentage. So that's got to have something to do with it. So that makes no sense otherwise. God damn it. Because here, this is how it's supposed to be. This is supposed to be 100 here. Maxed out. But on the other side, we don't get that. Like, we barely get... We barely get half. So it's something to do with this. Let's see. Let's just 1 minus 0.5 0.5 0 1 minus 0.5 0.5 0 0 minus 0.5 0.5 1 0 minus 0.5 0.5 equals 0.5 0.5 negative 0.5 0.5 negative 0.5 negative 0.5 0.5 negative 0.5. So what's the problem? There's no problem. UVs are the same, aren't they? They're exactly the same. So what's the problem? Oh, Biblio. Oh yeah, no, it's way past that. Why do I get a... What? What determines this? It's the midpoint UV. And what does that mean? That should be fine. Well, what if we set like the midpoint UV? I don't know if I feel like that makes any sense, but what if we look at the midpoint UV there and also here? Does that even render? You can see that something is most certainly different. What is that? It's that this one has a Z value. And that makes sense, right? So here, this is x. This is an x value. It goes from 0 to 0.5. Yeah. That does make some sense. And then over here, it does the same thing, except we've got... It's also green because it has... It's in the z-axis over there. But it should work. Shouldn't it? Like, this is 0, 0. And this is 0, 1. This is kind of meant to be 1, 1. And this is 1, 0. And could it be... Can it be because it's 0.5 over here and 0 here? We're actually setting it to 0 instead of getting what we want here. Well, that doesn't tell us much. Whoa! Whoa! Thanks for the sub, Bracer. Yeah, there. Now this looks more accurate to what it's supposed to be doing. There. Well, it's behaving differently. I don't know if it's behaving correctly, but it's absolutely behaving differently. Um, I think we're gonna end up having really annoying issues with not quite far plane or near plane, but I'm gonna have to do special math for a ray starting inside of a voxel. Let's see. This and then this is where we exit afterwards. Um, that just isn't right. Northwest, northeast? No, we're exiting southwest. Southeast? And here, northwest, northeast. Yeah, this one was correct for that, I guess. I don't feel like they match though. Like they don't match. should they match? I think so. But it's kind of hard to tell because the middle one is the middle intersection. That's what that's supposed to be. But we also have to write down, don't we? So for down, we really just need to figure out the depth, or rather the intersection. No, DV, I am dying. Ooh. Should open my window. Hmm. I'm not sure if I'm progressing right now. Like, I think I might be progressing, but I can't really tell. So it would just be nice to Let's add an S exit mask Y. So if ray step dot Y equals one, then I don't know what we do. I do know how to make pixel art and programming. So what do we do? All you gotta do is start making pixel art for a couple of years. So you can make art for your indie RPG. You'll learn eventually. But all we really need to know here well, we should check against the middle. That's what we should check against. Y min max equals float 2. Yeah, it's easy. You just make pixel art for 8 hours a day for a couple of years. Then you'll figure it out. Just I haven't used Sprite for like a year though. Not really. And a lot of the time isn't tracked either. So, but just use Sprite for 10,000 hours. It's easy. We need to do the same thing as this step. That's the entry mask, and then exit mask X. We should do the same thing as the exit mask X. Well, it's a little bit different. Where do we do midpoints horizontal? I'm the John Carmack of dying while programming. So here now, instead of this being times 0.5, this should be times midpoint uv dot z. Sure. My brain does feel like it's about to implode. I would have been gone longer, but Kibbs didn't show up for today's meeting, so I don't have anything else to do. I might play some Minecraft tonight. I don't know. We'll see. I don't really have that much more coding in me today, I think. Do I even need to do anything more than that? I already took a break. I've only been back for an hour. I've gone and had food and everything. Now, we've got some weird stuff going on there, right? But what we can see is also that the weird thing matches the blue on the other side there, which is also weird. But it's, yeah, it is weird. So what causes that? Am I just using the wrong points or something? Southwest, southeast. Where do we enter? We enter southwest, northwest. Southwest, northwest. Yeah, no, this is correct. Should be. Have I been doing this wrong the whole time? Midpoint's horizontal. Yeah. This should be another one of these. Southwest plus 0.5 times southeast minus southwest. That's how these should all work. Like that. You can't just add the two together and then subtract. You have to subtract the starting point from the end point, then multiply it by the percentage value that we want to travel along the line, and then add it back to the starting point. That's how you have to do it. Now, this one, I don't think I'm really using these. I might still be, but I'm not supposed to still be using those. However, that doesn't fix our issue here, because here we are doing it again, so it needs to be southwest plus southeast minus southwest. So here now, this is... I kind of feel like you have to do this to some degree. Like check the midpoint of your ray and then check where it lands. I don't know if I actually need to do that. For every scenario. Here I'm trying to write the code for when... because I have to write code for when it enters, and then code for when it exits on each side. So now I'm writing code for when it enters on the left side, and it exits down. And down is kind of a special case, because if it exits to the left, to the right, or forward, then you know that it exits, you know, somewhere else. And that means that you can always have like a midpoint, and you can check the midpoint there and see if it's like intersecting something or whatever. And yeah, nothing I'm saying is gonna make any sense to anybody, but when you cast to the other side, like if you enter on one side of X and you enter or you exit on the other side, also on X, then you can always check the midpoint as 0.5. right? Because it always crosses the middle there. But if you exit on the sides, you you can check the midpoint of the ray itself, but you can't like guarantee that that crosses the center or anything. So you have to kind of get the midpoint and then check the distance to the center. That's what I'm trying to do to determine, because the center has a volume, right? So I'm trying to determine there if that volume changes the value of the ground enough that we are actually colliding. But when you go down, you have an exit point, right? And you know, like, that exit point is guaranteed to collide with the ground. But it still gets, I think it still gets kind of weird if you just use the exit point, because then it might pass the center, or it might not. And well, it might not matter really, but I feel like it gets kind of weird with adding the center to it. But I can still use the same method where I'm like checking the length to the middle, no matter what. So maybe I'm overdoing this, but let's see what happens regardless after I figure out what I'm doing. This is now blue. Let's make it yellow, and I don't know, let's just make it yellow. Let's just kind of see what happens now. I'm not sure what I just did. Oh, I made it green. It's still doing this weird thing though. You see, it's like it's only going from the bottom right corner up to the top left corner, kind of, but not really at the same time. It's like it's not drawing the right side. What might be causing that? Super weird. Doesn't work. You can't print when you're working in compute shaders. It's actually a really annoying issue with it. But even if you could print it, it would still barely like help, because the problem here is that we have a range, right? We have x, and x is a series of rays that can all have different values, and it's like the way they all have different values is the issue. So really what we're seeing is kind of the problem. It's just that I don't have any idea how to parse it in my brain, because I don't know what the math is doing. So it would be if you could like look at the ray and like step through all the rays step by step. I think you can maybe do that actually, but I don't really know how to do it, because you have to use programs like RenderDoc or NVIDIA Nsight or something, and I just don't know how they work exactly. Plus my CPU or my GPU is too old for most versions of Nsight. I still haven't found a version that it works with. But it's strange. I don't know what's happening. Because what I'm doing is I'm calculating these two corners, right? And if we look, it says northeast 7, southeast 7. And this is north, this is south, but this is the south side of the block. The blue means it's the south side, this means it's the north side, right? So that means that this is south, that's west. Is that right? Yeah. Here, the northeast and southeast blocks are empty. So they're pointing towards me. So this is the east side, and this is the west side. But that also means that this is west. It's a little bit confusing. This is east, this is south, and that is north. I should make a little compass. But that means that the northeast the northeast side, and this is the north side, I think. No, this is the north side, and the southeast side. Yeah, they're both 7, right? So this line, it should be like this, right? It should just go across. In fact, it should be all the way up here. I don't know why it's all the way down here. So it's a little bit strange. Maybe yeah, copy paste what though? There's nothing to copy paste. What if we try flipping the Y and the X here? Do that. That did nothing. But like you can see they're all biased on the left to the right. And I don't really understand why it gets that shape. Oh! I would rather shoot myself in the head. It's annoying enough with a keyboard and an IDE that actually properly works. No, I know what's going on now, I think. Yeah, this needs to be X, not Z. This should stay Z. And here, where is X there? This one though should work. No, it's here, this one. But no, this one should still work. Now, the green works kind of now, except that for some reason it's refusing to draw from above. See, it kind of evaporates from the from the edge. Face red droopy eyes. That does not work on. On restream. It's weird. It's usually internet when your Discord doesn't work. But if you can be here, then. Why is it doing this? I do kind of know to some degree, but it's still weird how it like cuts it off halfway like that. Have you tried using web Discord? But a part of it is that we set it to only go midway. We never set it to do the second half. But this is still strange. It should just be like this part. And this, the fact that it like, why is it doing that? Well, yeah, anything you can write text in at all, you can write code in. But I wouldn't. Didn't fix the blue. Why's the blue fucked up? The blue is like super strange. Because it doesn't do even remotely what it's supposed to do. Well, actually it does. Now that I think about it. It's the midpoint that doesn't work. Because after that, here, we have a pale blue. And that's the background. So the background actually works. But this part absolutely does not work. Now the question is, what about it doesn't work? Is it the mid-height thing here that I did? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So now on the sides here, this is actually kind of fine. I don't know exactly why it does this, but it's supposed to enter this voxel and draw what's in there. So maybe it's still not doing the right thing there. So now this is supposed to be the midpoint, right? And that means that I'm kind of weird that, oh well, actually it might be this simple. Perhaps? It shouldn't be. It isn't. Yeah, you'll just have to live with it. I mean, it's not like you can do anything with it on your phone anyway. But yeah, that was not right. But this is also not correct. But what if we try this? Just do this as a test. What happens now? That ain't right. Why is it doing the dip? Because now we are, what we're doing is we're traveling in the X right now, right? So if I'm traveling here, that means that just incrementing X doesn't really tell us anything. So if we want to figure out where we are, we have to use the Z, because that's the perpendicular axis here, right? So if I use the Z in the middle, because we can find the 0.5 point, because the UV is just from 0 to 1. So if I just take 0.5 in the Z, then we can figure out where that is in the X value. And then I use X to determine what the height is, because we just get like this side and we get that side, and here then we get like the middle of that side and the middle of that side, and then we check the Z value from there to there, and that way we get a height value. And it's just weird that it doesn't seem to want to work. That's what I've been doing the whole time, and it doesn't work. Doesn't this work? Because this is what seems to be the issue right now, right? So if we comment that out, then we get a flat point. Except for there, but that's because that corner has a higher edge there. So like now the background works the way it should, kind of. So it's supposed to do this. 2x minus x to the power of 2. This is what it's supposed to be doing. Times 7. And you see, this is 0, this is 2 in this case, I guess. Oh, is that why? Could this just be x? There we go. That was easy, I guess. But the sides, it still doesn't quite make sense to me. Like why it's got that curve down and... But this is supposed to be the midpoint. This back here is supposed to be the exit point. And the different, or the problem right now, I guess, is that the exit point isn't yet... I haven't added so that it's affected by the neighboring center point, and that might be an issue, because it might be that if I add that, this is center 4, maybe it might be that the pink will align if I add the other center point. So can we do that? Let's see. That's gonna be exit mask. Oh, and here as well. There. But the problem with this is that this isn't actually how it's supposed to work either. What we can do is this, I think. In the X exit, here, here we are calculating the mid height, but what this is actually a percentage. So if we just calculate the percentage, then we can use the percentage to do what we were doing before, which is y height. Now, what is the percentage going to be? It's going to be 1 at the middle. So in this case, this should be 1 minus percentage times that, and then we add center times percentage. Didn't make that much of a difference, but maybe it did make a difference. Note that this is supposed to be the midpoint. And now you can see here, this one has a center of 0. So that's where we collide with the midpoint there. For some reason it's not green there. What happened to my green? Oh, yeah, because I'm... No, it won't. It'll be even harder. Many times harder. For multiple reasons. I would still be working with a framework. That's the thing. Like, when people think about Unity and stuff, they kind of think of it as like they liken it too much to RPG Maker, kind of, and it's not the same, because it's more like a foundation that you're working on, and you have this foundation that lets you like export the, you know, export the build. It handles certain settings like turning on VSync or VSync off, or, you know, a lot of small details and stuff like that, just busy work. And on top of that, you're just writing code. Like, you're just writing C# code. And if you were to make a C# engine, you would be programming that the exact same way that you're doing it in Unity. The only difference is that in Unity, if you want to, you can tie your code into Unity's physics system or use Unity's built-in stuff, but you don't have to. So you can literally just use it like a bridge or a foundation for just writing normal code that you would in any other engine. There are still like some background things that it wants to do in certain ways, but you can disable most things, and if you really want to dig, you can turn a lot of things off that are not obvious either. Because if you were to make a game, and also right now I'm writing shaders, right? And shaders use I don't know if API is the right word. I don't even know what API means. But like you use either DirectX, or you use OpenGL, or you use Vulkan. If you're writing for Mac, you use like Metal or something. And that's gonna be the same regardless of if you're using Unity or Unreal or whatever. Like, it's gonna be the same code because it's a separate language, and it just, you know, so that's why I don't really mind working in Unity, because it doesn't really matter. Like, Unity doesn't really factor in that much, to be perfectly honest. Only for like very minor things. It factors in a lot if you use Unity stuff, and a lot of people do. I hate Unity's built-in things for the most part, that's why I don't use them. But otherwise, I don't have a problem with it. Hmm. I actually do want to make or learn Rust with Vulkan, but I want to get this working in Unity first, and I want to get to the point where I started working on like world generation and you can walk around and all that kind of stuff. So it's a really far ahead, but I want it to work before I try porting it over to Rust and Vulkan. Vulkan is probably going to be the same code, or for the shader, which is most of the code. But for the Rust part, that's going to be new. And I would just rather have something that I know works before I start trying to dabble with another language. Like, imagine trying to do this while also not knowing if it's just that you typed something wrong. Not, not worth the effort. I've been thinking about getting something to drink for ages now. Do I drink some protein shake? Just because it tastes like chocolate. I'm gonna get something to drink. Oh, tulip. Yum. I think despite that Unity adds some overhead, functions are well implemented and optimized. With a little experience, it's unlikely that if you write everything from scratch in Rust, it'll be faster. Maybe, but it might. It depends on what you're doing. For the most part, I would agree. Probably. Like, I don't have enough experience with anything other than C# to actually make a judgment on that, but the thing is, for this project, I'm going to do things that might be very, very, very intense. And it might be good to have a faster, low-level language. For like water physics, normal physics, doing, you know, all kinds of calculations on the side. At the same time managing chunks to upload to the GPU, you know. See you later. Alright, dude. Thanks for dropping by. I'm eating butter. I want to do a lot of things, and I don't know how much of it you can actually fit properly in a modern loop. Well, you say the only thing, but I've also seen people say that Rust is like twice as fast as C# for certain things, so I just don't know how big of a difference it would be. But it would still be nice to try. I wouldn't mind working with something outside of Unity too. Like actually knowing how to be a game developer instead of just being a Unity tard. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. And you can't really control that in Unity. It just happens. You kind of just have to be careful and just not do things that cause garbage collection as much as possible. It's not really that big of a deal, I feel. To be honest. I don't know if I'm dying. I've been eating too much protein. I'm gonna get prions. Yeah. I used to do that. I still do that too much. Do like new vector 3 in loops and stuff. Something I've wanted to do actually is have like a, I don't know if it's a bad idea, but having like a generic vector 3 inside of a class that you use for setting things. So you instead of having like new vector 3 every single time, you set the vector and then you put it into whatever you're going to put it into. Because it has a dot set function, right? For like comparisons and stuff, because otherwise you end up doing like new vector 3 every single frame for like some for in my case it was like for every single tile that was on screen. I was doing new vector 3 checks like 100 times per frame per tile. Felt like not quite, but oh boy. Taking a little break here. Yummy butter. I have never heard the term memory arenas. So where are we at? You allocate a big chunk of memory at the beginning and deal with all allocations manually. I don't know anything about how memory allocation works or anything like that. Like I've only worked in C#. I have never done C++. No, that's not true. I've made one MS-DOS program in C++ in school. But I don't count that because it didn't teach me anything. It basically taught me how if statements work. Sounds tedious to manage memory, but once you've got it down systematically, it shouldn't really be that big of a deal, I imagine. Where are we at? Right. Let's see. Why did the green guy get weird? Yeah, I know what's happening there. It's because we're only doing the midpoint. Right. Hmm. Okay. So I think instead we're gonna use the midpoint direction method for the exit mask, and we're just gonna exit, I think. But it's got there are some details that I'm not sure how I want to handle yet. Like, a volume can be 0. It's between 0 to 7. And I kind of treated 0 as having volume. Like 0 is 1 kind of, so it's 1 to 8. But at the same time, I'm kind of wondering if I want 0 to be nothing. So that if the volume is 0, that means that the ray should continue down and hit the whatever is below. For example, like if you put dirt into a block, and it's only like one piece of dirt, you need 7 to max it out, then you might get a little pile in the middle, bigger pile, and it'll still show what's below, right? At least in theory. Because the corners will still be zeros. More or less. But we can change that later. For now, let's use exit point here. And there. But this is where I'm not sure. Maybe I should have an if statement here. Because it gets weird. because since we have a central volume, right? What you can do is if you start at the start and then you check the middle, you can then check your the height you have and the height of the volume, and you can compare the two, and you can use the value to calculate where you actually intersected based on the heights. But if I go from the entry to like 0.7, then we no longer have the mid section. Like, we don't have the height anymore. And I'm not sure you can actually figure it out anymore from there. So what I'm thinking is we might want to do if exit uv dot x is less than 0.5. We might have to do something like this. Else we do this. If this is less than 0.5, then we do that. Else we do 0.5 here instead of the UV. And this method here, I don't feel like it makes sense. This makes a lot more sense. Getting the direction. And then you use the direction to calculate the we don't have to redo this, we've already done it there. Does that really need to do that? Yum, 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 yum. Where am I? Holy shit. Keeping focused here is a nightmare. What's midpoint? I don't think this is something we need here. We're gonna have to do a couple of ifs here, I think. If it's less than 0.5, then we use exit. Otherwise, we use midpoint UV. This is just height. Something like that. And then here again, we need to do if. Man, it's not worth it. Just make 2 branches. Like it's not worth it to do this thing. Holy shit, this is the most confusing code I've ever written. If there, this is going to be else. There. Somewhat. Huh? Why is it so weird? There. There we go. Kind of. There. So now this is what it is. Midpoint UV. This is gonna say exit UV, I think. And then down here is midpoint, midpoint, midpoint. But the thing about the midpoint is that after we have checked the midpoint, then we have to check from the midpoint to the exit. Right? Dot X, yeah. Well, I don't think midpoint UV is the right one to use here either. We have to make a new UV here. Float. Float 3. Let's see, that's gonna be hard mid UV. That's gonna be entry UV plus 0.5 times exit UV. No, that's not right. That's not true. This will give us again the middle of the ray. But now we want to check in the middle of the cube. I think we can do ray direction. We can just do ray direction here. And that should be it. Because if we go up here, let's see. See here, we're still just using ray direction normally. And ray direction is a normalized direction. So if we just, like, we're working in normalized space now, so if I'm at 0 and I add the normalized direction, that'll just put us at like the other side of the block, kind of. But I don't know if it'll work with 0.5 here, because the ray direction generally works with a length, and the length is, I feel like it's different. Plus, this might overshoot, but whatever. This is .x. And then here now we do exit UV, exit UV. Do that. Now I'm not sure I buy this. I think this should just be like that. But we'll see. Nah. Because this is a proper UV. The other UV was divided by 2. And because it was divided by 2, one side had 0, right? So it was subtracting 0 from 0.5, and it got 0.5. But the other side, when it was at 1, which is supposed to be its extreme, it was at 0.5. Because it was divided by 2. Because it was the midpoint or something like that. I don't remember. So here, hard mid UV, this might need to be something like that, but I don't know. Something like that, maybe. That doesn't look right. Oh my god. This is such a nightmare. What's the weather like tomorrow? Are we still not doing anything? Snow showers. Is that more than snow? Is a snow shower more than snow? Oh, it's less. You have to do something like float poop equals entry uv dot x minus 0.5 poop equals poop minus entry uv dot x. Is that it? But that'll just give us 0.5. No, it has to be... No, it's not that. It's 0.5 divided by x. That's what we need. And then we do poop times exit UV minus entry UV. That's what it's gonna be. I think. Well, it doesn't do anything. Why does it do that? Is it that? That looks a little bit better. Still doing weird shit, but that's from above. That doesn't count, but that looks about right now. Looking here, for example, we can see that it goes up very fast there, the green. That is that it goes up the hill there. We need to do this here. So anything here that says midpoint should now be exit. And the entry height is Y height. And the entry UV is midpoint UV. Not quite. Well, that's not necessarily true. The entry height is the midpoint. That's the entry height. No, it's not. The entry height is the height where we entered. Are we calculating entry height there? See, now it's almost, but I'm not sure exactly what it should look like. It might want to be something similar like that. But it's kind of odd still. Because if you see now, this is actually kind of matching there. So now what we need is, well, first of all, we need the green to function properly always. And we need the second half of the green to function now. Once that is done, we can try changing them all to the same color and see what it looks like. These ones on the side, they're not correct. They need to be adjusted by the blocks on the side. In fact, they should all be adjusted by the block on the sides, generally. Green. that not work? No. Why does that not work? Oh, I know why. No, I don't. But that's the exit. Now, here's a question. Does it enter here at all? It does enter there. So it's a question of my calculations in here, which is unfortunate. Does it reach here? No. So it never enters here. And why is that? Is this wrong? Yes, because this needs to be exit UV. There. Now, it... don't really know what to make of it. What is going on there? There. It doesn't look like it'll be quite right if I change them all to green. Jesus Christ. What does this look like? It doesn't look quite right. This front section here is the problem. It's actually semi-close, but it's this the bottom exit. This point is wrong. I don't know if it's only that. I'm trying to color it based on height, right? So, but it has to be the bottom, like where it collides there. It's not giving us a high enough value. But at the same time, on the sides, am I properly calculating the intersections there? I mean, we are calculating it, that's for sure. Try that. That feels a lot closer again. It's supposed to be, well, yeah. Yeah, in this case it's supposed to be like a little height and then down and then up again. Kind of. So it's still wrong in a lot of places, but here part of the issue is that it kind of just goes up, but both, like, this side and that side aren't properly affected by other things. I'm not sure exactly what might need to be right, might need to be changed. But it is slowly getting somewhere. It needs to be like... Well, first of all, down here is still... It's too dark. Whatever is happening here in this little corner here is super wrong. This... The bottom here should be so bright that it's exactly the same as here. Like they should all just create sections. But I think maybe I'll stop there, at least streaming. I might do some more on my own, in my couch. Also, I have to call my dad and ask if we're gonna do something tomorrow. But, yeah. We are making progress, but I don't know if we're progressing toward something that's actually functional, or if it's just gonna look like weird shit all the time. But we'll see. Regardless, I'll probably stream tomorrow evening as well. But we'll see. Anyway, until then, thanks for hanging. Have a good night. Bye-bye.